So next we're going to line up the back stations, 31, 32, 33, 34, and so on. And how we do these is we're simply going to bring the indicator up. We're going to go through our tool pattern page. We're going to adjust our core, and we're going to adjust our Y and our X, which will be diameter and core. Now we could do that in a regular tool set page, which I have called up right now. You'll see they're all zeros. And that's where we like them. There's another page similar to this. It's called the hidden page, where we make our adjustments. That way, when we come out of that hidden page and come back to this one, these are always going to be zero. So we're going to go into the hidden page next. And to do that, go to MDI, $1. I hit Shift Cancel to clear it. G891 and the block input, cycle start. Now, we go to our prep page, you'll see it's different. Some things are missing. There's no longitude setting anymore. There's no back front representation anymore. It's simply numbers. Those numbers are what we call the fudge numbers. Those are the numbers that we're going to indicate in, so each station's perfectly aligned. And then we're going to hide that page. When you call up a tool station, the macro inside, when you call up a tool, is going to reference these positions and bring that on center. So now we're on 32. Going to go to manual set, core. Nothing moved. I'm going to bring this forward. Now, in order to bring this forward, I'm going to come down to axis select. I'm on Z2. This allows me to jog this forward. So again, grab my mirror. Zero this way. So I'm off, almost all the way around. I'm going to go up to diameter. Even though it says diameter on this page, that's going to reference this x-axis, which is off that way. We want to bring that in. So again, I'm on diameter. You'll see numbers are moving up there as I move the dial. Now I'm going to watch my indicator. Now my indicator is moving back towards zero. I'm going to go ahead and zero it this way. Now I'm checking side to side, so I'm checking 3 and 9 right now. 6 and 12 I'm not worried about right now. Come back here. And remember, what you're looking at right now is a diametrical reading. So all I have to do is go half the distance back, zero it, go ahead and check. Make sure I'm zero that way. I'm zero that way. So side to side, I'm good. You'll notice there's a number in here under diameter. It's 5 thou 6/10. You'll notice the cursor's over here on diameter. I'm going to hit input. What it's going to do is going to transfer this number arithmetically over to here and reset that. I hit input. It just changed that number. Now that's the new adjustment number for that station side to side. Next we're going to check up and down. Because this particular machine, this slide has the ability to move up and down. So we want to make sure we zero that. I just go up to core, which is up and down. Now I'm checking my positions that are going to be 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock. Now a little trick I use is I know I'm zero this way and I'm zero this way. I'm off up and down by about 1.5 thou. I'm going to go ahead and bring that to zero. Now I didn't touch my indicator any. A little off. Perfect. Within 1/10 all the way around. So now again, there's a number in my core setting. This is the amount that I had to adjust it with the hand wheel to bring it in. But I want to go ahead and save that number or adjust the one that's actually in the core for 31. Go ahead and hit input. There you go. 31 is now perfectly aligned to the sub spindle. Now, you're simply going to repeat that process for all the stations, 31 through 39. The same procedure. Just put a drill holder in there or something. I was using a live spindle holder here. You could use this right here happens to have a static 1-inch holder in it. You can go ahead and use that. You just got to indicate on the center line. That's all there is to that. Okay, so now what we want to check is we want to make sure that our drilling stations 21, 22, 23, 24 are in line with the guide bushing when we call them up. So in order to do that, I've gone ahead and put a 1-inch guide bushing into the housing. I've taken my drill sleeve with my indicator in it, gone ahead and put it in there and tightened it down so it's nice and snug. Now I'm simply going to call up station 24, bring it up, indicate it, and see if it needs to be moved side to side. There is no adjustment for up and down, just side to side. So I'm going to go to 24 on my screen, manual set, center. Again, turn my feed rate down, cycle start. Nothing's going to move till I turn the feed rate up. Now this is coming over to 24. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and jog it up and adjust it. Now one of the things I'm doing is, in order to bring it up, you'll notice there's a menu selection here called Axis Select. The reason I use that is because if I were to go to jog, see right, let's look right now, if I make an adjustment in my center, I get my numbers, which is what I want. But now I want to bring this forward. So you say to yourself, well, I'll just go to manual, I'll go to Z2, I'll jog it forward, and then I'll go back to prep page. Oh, well, I got to go to 24 man set. Okay, let me do that. Well, look what happened. That goes back home. So you have to stay in this menu to do that. So we're simply going to drop down to Axis Select, which is Z2. Now, if I take my speed buttons, press them for a speed, hand dial, now this is coming forward. So now I can take my selector and go back up to center, and now I can still adjust my center. So that's a nice feature on these machines. So let's go ahead and rotate it around, get my mirror here. I'm gonna go ahead and go to opposite, zero my meter out. We're out a little bit. Looks like we're out, 7 or 8 thou. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna stay where I'm at, maybe press times 10. Now, when I adjust this, you'll see my needle is coming back around. So it started at 0, went around this way. Now I'm gonna go half the distance back, about there, adjust my 0. I'm gonna reach in here. Bang on, as they would say in England, I guess. So now we like that. I like that adjustment. Again, there's a number in here. It's -628. There's a number in here for 24. Just gonna go ahead and put input. And when this is what I really like to see, I'm almost to 0 now, which tells me that that grid shift had to be done, because now I'm back to almost 0 here. Now, you don't have to do a grid shift to bring these in. You could always bring these in with this G891 mode that I'm showing you. You just can't do the sub spindle that way. So now you do the same procedure for 21, 22, 23, 24. Just take your holders out, put your drill holder in, and repeat this for all of them. But I'll show you another little trick. Every one of these that's in here now, including the one that we just changed, was 7 thou 2/10 or thereabouts. This casting is a one-piece casting, and it's drilled and bored from the factory to be, I don't know, 50 millimeters apart. So when you go to do your adjustment, you adjust the first one 99% of the time the other ones are going to follow it because they're the same casting. So you can go back in and check all these if you want. Normally what I do to save time, I just go in here and actually make these other 3 the same as 24, and you should be good. So that side's done. The last thing to do is to check the B axis, and this will be done. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and line up our B axis stations to the sub spindle. And those are going to be 51, 52, 53, and 54. So I'm going to go over to 51 right now. I've called it up. I'm going to go man set, core, cycle start. And again, nothing moves until I turn the feed rate up. I'm going to turn it up slow, watch it come over. Now it's in line. I'm going to bring the sub spindle up. Again, I'm going to go down to axis select. Z2 pops up. Going to go ahead and jog it forward. A mirror. Take it to 0. We're off a little bit. We're going to go ahead and adjust that. There's 2 selections here. There's core and there's diameter. One of these is going to move the main slide up and down, and one of them is going to move side to side. And what I have to figure out is which one's which. So one of the things when you go to B axis, things aren't what they seem anymore. And you think Y axis is this way. It's actually not. I thought it was core, but it's actually diameter. So I'm going down here to diameter. You can see my indicator. And the reason I can tell is you see how fast my indicator is moving on diameter? So if I go to core, watch what happens. It doesn't move very much. Why? Because actually what I'm doing is I'm going up and down. I'm not going side to side, which is what I want to do. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring this in here. Zero that way, 0 this way, but now I got to come 0 up and down. I'm off a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and input this number right now. Then I'm going to move up to core. Now when I move this, yeah, see how much that moves real quick? I know I'm doing the right axis. So 0 there, and we're within a couple tenths all the way around. So station 51 is lined up. I'm going to go down to 52 now. Tell it to do, it's going to index to 52 or move to 52. That's going to go home. That's going to go up. Okay, same thing. Go down to axis select, Z2. Jog it up. Go to 0. Okay, that one's 0 side to side. I'm going to go ahead and hit input. Now I'm going to go up to core. Zero. Input. There you go. 51 through 54 aligned. Now the next step will be to try and get in here and do these. We don't have a whole lot of room, so it's going to take a little bit, but that's the last thing to line up. Okay, so now we want to indicate the front side of the B axis. And here's where it gets a little tricky. You can see that there really isn't a lot of room in there. And we thought we had a small enough indicator to get in there with a long bar to reach through and indicate it, but we don't. You need even a smaller indicator to do that. But we're going to go ahead and line it up using the back side. And how we can do that, and the reason we're going to do that, is this. This spindle is the same spindle all the way through. We've established that this head is straight this way. And we know that this sub spindle, because our first check was to make sure this was in line with our guide bushing. So if we know this is in line with this, and this is in line with this, if we simply line the back up, or the front, this station here, which is 12, using the sub spindle and the pin in the back, we should have pretty close numbers to what we have in the back. Now, if you need an exact indication or tramming it in, you're gonna have to get a small indicator to get in there, and it's very hard. Another thing you could do, I suppose, is take the guide bushing housing right out and go ahead and bring the head in that way. But we're gonna go ahead and do it this right now, just to show you a quick way to do it in a way that, for all practical purposes, is gonna be fine. So we've taken a picture of the numbers 51, 52, 53, 54. These, we know these are good. So we're simply gonna go to the 11, 12, 13, and 14, and we're gonna put the same numbers in. I've already done 50 or 11, I'm gonna do 12. So to do that, I'm simply gonna go 12, machine set, and then I'm actually gonna go to absolute, because I'm just gonna punch the number in I want. Normally when you're doing your adjustments with the indicator, what you want, you must have it on incremental. So whatever reading you get is added or subtracted to what's already in there. At that point, you don't want to absolutely change it. In this case, I want to absolutely change it. Okay, go back to incremental. Numbers are the same. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call up tool 12, which is this tool in line with the guide bushing, and I'm going to check the back to make sure I'm still in line. And I'm in line. So once again, we know the sub spindle is in line with the guide bushing. That's been checked. We know that this station is in line with this station. It's in the same holder. We've lined this station up to the sub spindle. Put the same numbers into this side, which would be T13. We just called up 13 and checked it in the back, and we're dead on. So now we know that B-axis is lined up, X and Y on all the stations. So now that we're all done with our adjustments, we want to make sure we go to the regular page for tool set, not the hidden page. So we can see right now that we're missing some information or some adjustment boxes we usually would have. That's how we know we're in the hidden page. We're going to go to MDI, $1. You'll see the last code that was executed was G891. That gets us into the hidden page. The code to get us out is simply 890. We input that, we cycle start. That's a mini macro program that runs. We go back to our preparation page. Now we're back to our normal page. So that covers basic alignment checks and some tweaks on alignment. Now this was done on a machine that was in production. We weren't having any accuracy issues or anything else. We just simply wanted to get in there, check some things out. If this machine had experienced a crash where we would have had to check squareness of the sub spindle, maybe squareness of the slide, squareness of the B-axis. Those are a little bit more involved. Covers have to come off. We'd have to show you where to loosen things up, and we're going to do that in future videos. But for now, this is a good basic alignment for a machine that simply needs a good PM.